Thank you, Mr. Chair. President Donald Trump has been asserting among the most aggressive and expansive claims of presidential power that we've seen in our nation's history. He's taken the unitary executive theory to new extremes. He's claiming to have the authority to defund whatever agency he wishes, to abolish whatever agency he wishes, and to fire whomever he wishes, even if it means violating an act of Congress. Mr. Chairman, suppose for a moment the president were to ignore the congressional statute that establishes the independence of the Federal Reserve. What economic consequences would result from the Fed losing its independence?
I think research over many years in many jurisdictions shows that some degree of independence is very important in keeping inflation under control. And the connection is obvious. If politicians are going to want to be reelected and things like that, they're not going to be focused on the longer term. We have the mandate to remain separate from all of that, to stay out of all of that, so that we can just focus on, not on election cycles or helping or hurting any political party or politician, but just on serving the public as a whole. That is essential, and it's uniform, I think, across all advanced economy central banks.
Much like the Bureau of Fiscal Service, the Federal Reserve has highly sensitive payment systems. President Trump and Secretary Bessent granted Elon Musk and his team of outsiders access to the central payment system of the federal government, a system that is often described as America's checkbook. Would you, as the Federal Reserve Chair, ever grant a team of outsiders access to the Fed's central payment system without sufficient vetting and sufficient security clearance?
Well, no, but let's remember, we're the Treasury's fiscal agent. Everything we do is under their direction, and there are Treasury payment systems, and then there's our side of the wall, which is the actual payment to the recipients, and so we control access to that very carefully.
Right. The Treasury issues the payments, and then you process them.
They order us to pay someone, and we just pay. We don't have any. We don't question payments. We just make the payments, and we control access to those payment systems very carefully.
And what would be the danger of lightly granting access to the Fed's payment system to outsiders without sufficient vetting? Like, what could go wrong?
Well, the reason why we're so careful about it is just, for one thing, the possibility of mistakes and someone coming in and changing the code and things like that. So we have very careful access. Another one is just you open it up to more cyber risk and things like that. So I mean, I think all really important computer programming is subject to very careful access restrictions, and we're no exception.
Right. So you believe, as I do, that granting an insufficiently vetted team of outsiders access to the payment systems of the Treasury or the Fed would radically raise the risk of a cyber breach at the hands of foreign adversaries like China and Russia?
So we're talking hypothetically here. I can tell you that is not something that's happened relative to. We can speak to the systems that the Treasury has asked us to operate on their behalf, and that has not happened in those systems.
I represent one of the poorest congressional districts in America. I have cash-strapped constituents who pay exorbitant fees simply to transfer their own money, often to loved ones abroad. Access to FedWire could play a role in radically reducing the cost of remittances and payments for the lowest income Americans. What is your position on expanding FedWire access for the purpose of reducing the cost of remittances and payments?
So we do, FedWire is really between banks. These are very large wholesale transactions. It's one of the world's most important, if not the most important, financial market utility. I don't think we're looking to open it up to retail customers. I think, faster retail payments and particularly cross-border payments are a subject of a lot of work in the international sphere, and I think we all understand it's important to lower the costs and the risks of those.
The commercial real estate, do you feel that continues to be a ticking time bomb within the financial system? What's your sense of?
I wouldn't say that. So we've been saying, and I think it's still true, that this is a problem that's been with us and it's going to be with us for a while. If I can say something modestly constructive, it doesn't seem to be getting worse.
Okay.
So there are a lot of embedded losses, and they're just going to need to be realized. So we're working with financial institutions to make sure they have a plan and understand their losses and can manage them.
Right. I see my time has expired. Thank you.